Hello, welcome to the Whatever Show. I'm Alex Drake. This is Dragon Pet.
And today we want to talk to you about, we want to talk to you about the number one, the greatest of all time disaster movies. That disaster movie that looked at all the rest of its competitors and said, hold my beer. I'll show you disaster. And it did. This is the movie that has it all. It's got earthquakes, it's got tornadoes, it's got volcanic eruptions. It does it all.
Yeah.
It totally screws up planet Earth. And it does it in such a way that you get to see the White House get smacked by an aircraft carrier. You get to see Hawaii on fire. And you get to see not only L.A., but L.A., Las Vegas, all the way up to Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Totally toasted.
Yeah. Hey, California went underwater.
If you don't know what show we're talking about, where have you been?
Quit hiding under rocks, people.
We are talking about the one and only 2012. Now, to give you a little background before we go into the show, those of you who were not around or not old enough to realize it, a lot of people were predicting the end of the world back when the Mayan calendar ended, which was in the year 2012. And it would have ended on basically December 2012. I believe it was 12/12/2012. But Hollywood, in their infinite wisdom, and this is one of those times where they actually got it right, decided, you guys think the world's going to end?
Okay, let's check off every single box but asteroids. Because that'd just be...
We don't need them.
We don't need them. We're destroyed. We're getting...
Yeah, reality, that's the only one they missed.
Yeah.
You got the sinking of ships, you got everything.
Yeah.
And...
They also had things most ones don't. The switching of the...
Poles.
All
right, look, we're getting out of order. Let's take this. So, they get number one, John Cusack. Now, Cusack is an amazing actor. I've loved his work most of my life. He did great jobs with sex, drugs, and rock and roll films. And as he's grown up, he's done great movies. And he did the lead of this show. And he's a driver, not unemployed. He's got a job. He's a driver of a limo instead of an author who wrote a book that only less than 500 people bought. And it's how he hears a story on the radio, AM radio, talk radio for you, telling you about the end of the world coming according to Charlie. Charlie played by who else but Tallahassee. Yes.
Yes, from Zombieland. Okay.
Tallahassee from Zombieland is in this show playing Charlie. And he's going to talk about how the world is going to go boo-bar. And he's sitting in Yellowstone. You know, the place of all the geysers.
The biggest volcano
on the earth. Yes, folks, that part's real. Yellowstone is the largest supervolcano on Earth. And it has a potential to explode. It has done so before. And when it did, the ash reached all the way out to the Mississippi. Go look at your map. Check it out. We're not talking small time effect. We're talking big. And we're not talking, a little bit of dusting. We're talking inches of ash. All life from the Mississippi to the West Coast, gone. But Charlie is one of those conspiracy theorists who actually got his conspiracies right. And he likes pickles.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of pickles.
Our hero takes his kids, because his wife has divorced him and is marrying some plastic surgeon. And he takes his kids for the weekend. They're going to go camping. They spend the night, 2 nights or so, and they come back. Meanwhile,
Sorry about that.
while this is going on, that's when the end of the world starts. Because after all, when you take your kids camping, that's, things are going bad. And he has to take his kids camping in a limo because his car won't start. Or was it booted? I don't remember.
Won't start.
Okay. So, while he's up there camping, he goes to show the kids where his wife and him, how they met and everything else. And it's fenced off.
Mm-hmm. So they jump the fence.
So, yeah, like a good American, he says, I'll bite this. And he goes in, and he meets the second hero of our show, which is the doctor that is predicting all the death and destruction. And the doctor lets him go, and everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes back to L.A. as L.A. begins falling apart. I think the perfect part in this is, he said, the new husband-to-be is like, I keep feeling like something's trying to tear us apart. And then the aisle they're standing in just literally gets torn apart.
Yeah.
And as the opening round, this is just a prelude because it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
As he's going, he drops off. He's doing a run in his limo for some rich Russian dude and his 2 spoiled brat sons. And his hot concubine girlfriend. That's the rich Russian dude's girlfriend, by the way.
Yeah.
He takes them to the plane, and the little spoiled brats tells him, we are going to get on the big ship, and we are going to be saved, and you are going to die. And he realizes, uh-oh,
Wait,
that's what Charlie was talking about. Oh, crap. So he races to save his ex-wife, her husband, and their 2 kids. And he gets them in the limo, and you get to see the greatest driving scene ever, as this man is basically trying to outrun disaster in a limo. I mean, this scene is this is great. You drive through a building that is toppling so that you can jump out the other side. This was just priceless.
Yeah.
They get to this little small airport,
They're
and
probably
it's dead.
So what do?
They
So-
make the rich man, who's had 1 or 2 lessons, fly the plane.
Yeah. Hey, you duck, you're flying.
And I love the way he's like, T's and P's, T's and P's, T's and P's. The rich doctor is trying to sit down figuring out how to do proper pre-flight at the end of the frickin' world. Meanwhile, John Cusack's character puts this thing in, slams the
We're going
throttle
forward.
forward. We're lifting off. We don't need... I gotta get to 85. No, you just take it up as soon as we can. We gotta go.
80's good, let's go.
The flight scene coming out of L.A. is just amazing.
Yeah.
L.A. is FUBAR. And it was priceless.
Yeah.
Now they decide they're going to go back up to Yellowstone so he can get the map to where the ships are, so they can get saved. And they go back to Yellowstone, and well, the wife, the son, and
Get out.
the boyfriend, husband, are going to refuel the plane. John Cusack and his daughter go racing off to go find Charlie so they can find out where the map is, where the boats are. Meanwhile, Charlie's not in his camper. He's taken off on a motorcycle and gone up on the top of a hill so he can watch it all happen.
Yeah, he wants to.
Charlie is nuts. He's got front row seats at the end of the world, and he's just going to sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So they, thanks to the little girl's sharp eyes, they see him, they run up, they talk to him, and they're there when the supervolcano begins to go.
Yeah, I like how we went up and then went. Boom.
And then it went boom. And it's chucking out.
Not no little magma.
I mean, it wasn't chucking baseballs, it was chucking car size or bigger pieces of rock. Because when that volcano blows, it ain't nice. And it went boom. But like Charlie said, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was amazing, amazing special effects. As you're sitting back going, yes! Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. As
And then
Charlie
the
gets
pyroclastic cloud starts coming at them. And they barely take off in front of this cloud. And where do they go? We need a bigger plane. We got to get to China.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings them back to hooking up with
The rush.
the Russian. And his two spoiled brats and the hot chick and the pilot bodyguard.
Yeah.
And they take an Antonov. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the biggest freight plane in the world.
Yep.
This thing is huge.
Yeah. He can't say it's huge. It's rush.
It's Russian.
That's all. Yeah. That's all. And when you need to explain a big plane, hey, it's Russian. It's a Russian.
Because what happens, what do we know about the Russians? They don't always make the best things in the world, but they sure like to make the biggest.
Yeah.
They got the biggest cargo plane. They got the biggest attack helicopter out there behind. And both of which are actually pretty damn good vehicles. So they take off in the Antonov, and we get to watch Vegas go boom. So far we have seen LA go foobar. We've seen Vegas go foobar.
And Yellowstone go.
Yellowstone go foobar. Now as they're flying, DC goes up.
Yep.
We get to see a tidal wave take out basically all of India. Two of them are fighting to see who gets to screw up the country more.
Yep. As Hawaii is molten lava.
Yeah, every volcano on Hawaii has just gone boom. The island is just a giant lava bed.
Thing
It's-
is, what's that? That's Hawaii.
That's the state of Hawaii. That is, and they
I still
realize.
think whoever lives on Hawaii, they're dumb. We're living on a giant volcano. That's
I mean,
stupid.
it was priceless,
Mhm.
especially for our intrepid heroes, as they need Hollywood, Hawaii, in order to refuel. Now they realize, oh, great, we are FUBAR, because we don't have enough fuel to get to China.
Mhm.
They figure they're going to have to crash land in the ocean, which would mean they're dead.
Yeah.
But because the world is just getting screwed up so bad,
All the tectonic plates decide.
everything
"You know what,
moves around and boogies around, and as we see on Air Force One, the idiot jerk politician, who's not the president, which is one of his aides or
Who's
secretary.
now acting president? You don't deserve that title.
They point out that the new pole is somewhere in Wisconsin. He goes, the North Pole is in
No.
the South
South.
Pole. The whole planet has shifted around so much that it luckily saves our intrepid heroes because they get to land in China.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, coming into China as the Chinese family picks them up, takes them, all this is heading out, the waves come. As you finally follow them up, our intrepid heroes are heading towards where these ships are. They're not rocket ships. They're giant arcs that are supposed to sail the ocean and keep people safe until everything calms down. Supposed to be 6 of them. End results, only 3 are ready.
Mm-hmm. Because bad timing.
Because, hey,
The Earth says, "Oh,
Uncle-
you think you're gonna be able to make them all?" Psych.
I mean, this was, when you're looking at natural disasters,
Hey, bro.
when you have a flood that floods the Himalayas,
Mm-hmm.
that's saying something.
Mm.
I mean, when that Buddhist monk is sitting on the mountain and the waves come in and he's banging the bell
Mm-hmm.
and he's toasted, he's on the tip of a mountain.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay. You weren't kidding when you said, hold my beer.
And I like that scene where it shows the tea and that Buddhist monk is just pouring the tea and then
No, that was earlier.
yeah.
All right, back in D.C. D.C.'s now survived volcanic eruption, but another one comes along which launches a tsunami at Washington, D.C. So big that it picks up the John F. Kennedy, an aircraft carrier, and it smacks the White House with this.
Mm-hmm.
And on the front lawn of the White House is the President of the United States, who has decided not to flee for safety, but rather to stay and die with his fellow Americans, and he gets plastered.
Yeah, that ship hits him directly in the face.
It just takes him out.
And President takes out the White House.
We see Vatican City, the Sistine Chapel. The crack goes right down between the finger of God and the finger of man. And then the chapel itself the dome of the chapel falls off and starts rolling over the people in St. Petersburg, not St. Peter, in this square. And it's like, yes.
Yes.
Again, major destruction. Priceless.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, this movie was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, the only disaster it really missed, it didn't really play up the tornadoes, but they were there.
Mm-hmm.
They were just mentioned. The only one that didn't happen
was an asteroid, because I think that had been overkill.
would have been redundant,
Mm-hmm.
because you already got a planet that's going haywire.
You saying, peace, I'm gonna kill you all.
I mean, this show was, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It is by far the best disaster movie I have ever seen.
Yep, it's number
It
one.
is the one that from now on all disaster movies will be compared to. Is it in the same league? San Andreas? Yes. Greenland? No.
No, Stupid Land.
Dante's Peak? Yes. Not as complete of a destruction, but pretty damn good. Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones. Pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, this is the epitome of disasters. When this movie was finished,
I took
the
out every
producers
single.
turned around and said, I'll take not only my beer, but you all owe me one. Because I just showed you how to do it.
Oh, you guys took out only one famous
I
place?
took out the
I took 'em
entire
all.
freaking world.
The only one
And it was great.
Yeah, it even hit right into the mountain Himalayas.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. What he's talking about is there's a scene in there that because all these refugees were being allowed to enter the arks against our politicians' better advice, one of the ships couldn't close all of its doors all the way. And because it couldn't close its doors all the way, they were not able to start the engines. So this wave that came in and smacked them ends up knocking it loose from its mooring, and it goes and it's going to run aground. And it's hilarious because we're about to hit something. What do you mean we're about to hit something? What is there we could hit?
That
Mount Everest.
Everest.
What?
I mean, just look. Huh? What do you mean we're about to hit it?
And the ark actually kisses Mount Everest. Yes.
Hey,
I mean,
it made a hole in it.
also in there, our doctor that's been advising the government, his father's on a cruise ship off in the Pacific, and we get to see it try to surf up the side of a tidal wave. Now there's an alternate ending where they actually make it, and the cruise ship pulls up at the very end of the show when they realize the air is clean, there's no more yuck in the sky, and people can start heading towards some form of safety. Mm-hmm. At that point, in the alternate ending, up pulls the cruise ship. But
that would
in the primary ending, that cruise ship is toast. It tries to go up the side of and you got to give it to the dad.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out onto a balcony and basically stares the wave in the face and is like, "Take me,
I'm ready."
This was my favorite disaster movie of all time.
Once I saw that, I went, nothing will be able to get to that level.
I mean, look forward to the day that somebody can produce something that has more disasters in it. Unless they're talking politics. And then, I mean, you can see disasters anytime you see a presidential news conference. But nothing to the limit of this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen it, see it.
Mm-hmm.
I advise you to go buy it on Blu-ray. Watch this show, because it is amazing.
And would you guys please stop hiding under rocks if you haven't seen these shows? Right now we're mentioning the ones that most people would have seen already. If you haven't, you're hiding under a rock.
Where have you been? You're missing it. But okay, this has been whatever. We have now covered our top favorite disaster movies. There's a couple others we still may end up mentioning in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you've enjoyed this little three-parter. We started out the week by talking to you about Pukeland, Greenland, where they screwed the disaster movie up. We went to San Andreas, and now we have finished with the best disaster movie of all times, 2012. If you are noticing, we are also doing Rush Week this week. Our next episode that you will be seeing will be on the story of, probably coming out today, which would be on Neil Peart. We hope you enjoy those. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If there's something in particular you'd like to hear us rant and rave about or sing praises of, send us a listing. Let us know.
Yes.
And we'll get to it. If not, don't worry. We've got a full itinerary.
Yeah.
I want to thank you all for being with us. Remember, hit that like button, hit that share button.
Hit the bell.
Definitely hit that subscribe button.